Okay, so one of my jobs this morning is going to be mounting this brand new vise that we got. You saw the unboxing just a little bit ago. Yeah, so just going to drill a couple holes into this, a few holes into this, mount it up underneath, and then mount it to the whole table here.
So we've put our old starter in there, but we got a big boy and we were having clearance issues where it was hitting the frame. So when the engine torques, the starter's going to hit the frame. Going to cause some damage. We didn't like that. So what we did is we put the original starter back in, which is a lot smaller. We're not sure if she's going to fit, but I guess we're going to find out, aren't we? So we were doing some fabricating, also kind of getting up on our welding skills. We made this cable right here for our throttle because the old cable, or the old throttle cable, is a lot longer than what originally came with the 350, and the bracket that came with our other motor did not fit on this engine. So we made this bracket part just by cutting off the piece of the old bracket and welding it onto this new bracket that goes into there, as well as making a bracket, as you can see right there, it's raw metal for the transmission kick down, and both those are lined up. We just need to drill a little hole for this return spring. Our throttle cable seems to be working, but when you step on the gas really hard, there's quite a bit of flex going into that bracket. So what we're going to do is just weld another piece here to kind of make it that A-frame strength, which will stop the flex in this. I mean, fabricating, trial and error, testing, that's how you learn these things. It's all part of the build. So wiring wise, all of our connectors come out of the bulkhead right in the firewall. What we did is we just moved all the wires off to the side at the start. These are still unused. And we just organized, reconnected everything that we knew for sure where it went. So the obvious ones are this connector to the alternator, this power wire to the alternator, the battery to starter, and the trigger wire to starter, as well as this junction was pretty obvious. And then our distributor wires, we had to actually make a separate connector for that one because our distributor had a different connector. What we did was we ran the wires, like I said, that we knew for a fact where they went. We just ran them. They're a mess right now. We're going to clean them up later. And then everything we didn't know where it went, we put off to the side and slowly organized it. So for example, our coolant temperature sensor, I believe this is to our oil pressure gauge, which didn't work in the first place, so maybe we'll figure that out later. And these are all just to like secondary air injection. The original motor had secondary air injection. If you don't know what that is, it's some stupid GM emissions thing. We'll probably not go into detail about that later. So now that we had our engine wired to the best of our knowledge, we're going to leave these wires for now until we get the engine running. And then we'll probably see what the dash needs to continue with. We'll see what the dash needs to get like our gauges that we're missing going. So this truck comes standard with coolant temperature, which never worked. Seatbelt sensor, which never worked. We probably won't decide, or probably won't figure out where that one goes. Our speedo, which worked, which was just a connector to the transmission. Our fuel gauge never worked. That's probably something to do with the fuel sending unit in the bed, or under the bed. Our oil pressure gauge, which never worked. And our battery volts, which never worked. And as you can see, a lot did not work. We'll probably figure those out. We're not worried about that right now. Just quickly off camera, we cranked over the S10 just to make sure all of our wiring was proper. We found we weren't getting any spark at the spark plugs. So just doing some quick diagnosis, we found the issue was within our distributor, actually the ignition coil, which is kind of integral to the distributor. Our wires weren't even really connected. As you can see, just by me touching them right now, they're breaking off. So what we did is we quickly ran to the local auto parts store, grabbed another one, threw it in there, verified for spark, and it looks like everything ready to fire up. I mean, we don't have fuel connected, we don't have cooling system connected, so we're not going to try it right now, but we are getting spark. Spark and fuel means ignition. So that's it for today's episode, hosers.
Like, comment, subscribe. Peace out, hosers.
See you next time.